Eric, would you get that to where it's pointing at me? You have a handout, and I'm gonna grab the handout. The same one with the dog on it. The Bizarro comic. Okay, and it's already videoing, so all you have to do is just get it aiming at me, Eric, okay? All right, so I want to talk about how writers use grammar or punctuation to give meaning to what they're saying. So this is from a story called Barn Burning by William Faulkner. Anybody ever read the story Barn Burning? Did you ever have to read it in high school or anything like that maybe? No? Anybody heard of Faulkner? When you think of Faulkner, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What, James? You're making funny faces.
That he goes on and on and on and has incredibly long sentences that are that kind of zoom all over the place.
Exactly. He's extremely hard to read. People think, oh my God, I've got to read Faulkner. It's going to kill me just getting through one sentence, all right? And that is true. Faulkner is extremely difficult to read. What, Tara?
I said it will kill you. Sorry.
It will kill you. Well, it will if you don't know how to do it, right? And so in 102, I teach literature, right? So I teach Faulkner. But today I'm using good old Faulkner for a grammar exercise to talk about how he uses punctuation in such a way to carry his message. Now, Faulkner wrote always, first he was from the South, right? And he always wrote about a particular time in history that was going on in the South, and then that's the time that occurred directly after the Civil War. Who knows the dates of the Civil War?
1860 to 1864, 1865.
1863 to 1865. And then directly after that, for the next 12 years, was a period in history that we study in the history books. Anybody know what that was called?
Reconstruction era.
Reconstruction era. And Ryan, what was Reconstruction?
When the North gave money to the South cities to help rebuild them after being damaged.
Exactly. It was a time that the South was supposed to reconstruct itself after being totally decimated by the Civil War. So Faulkner writes about this particular period in all of his books, and all of his stories are covering this particular period. Now the thing with the people in this period is that the people from the old days, the people who were plantation owners, people who were white, upper class, owners of the land, judges, that type, how do you think they wanted to reconstruct the South?
Like it was before.
They want to reconstruct it like it was before. They want to go back to the old ways. But then you've got the new group of people, the people first who are the slaves who have been freed by the Emancipation Proclamation. Then you've got the sharecroppers. All right, what were sharecroppers? Who knows?
Didn't they?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought someone was saying didn't they work the land for like a small bit of whatever came out of that?
Exactly. These were the people who, particularly after the Civil War and the slaves were freed, they would work a small piece of the plantation owner's land. And they would work it, and then supposedly at the end of the season, they would get paid for what profits they had made. Now, meanwhile, the plantation owner owns the company store, and so they got to go buy all their seed, all their fertilizer, all of their coffee, their sugar, their salt, their pork, anything they're going to eat, they have to buy from that company store. How much money do you think they actually end up with at the end of the season?
Not very much.
No, in fact, usually they're more in debt. It's another form of slavery, right? So the people who were slaves, the sharecroppers, and even, how about the younger people? Because we're going to move after Reconstruction into a very important period of our history that was called something else. It had to do with the engine, the motor. Who knows what that period is called?
Industrial Revolution.
The Industrial Revolution. So we've got the young people. Now, where do you think do they want to go back to the old, or do they want to go forward into the new? They want to go forward into the new, okay? So we've got clashing cultures, clashing values, and we've got a period of great confusion. Confusion. So when Faulkner writes, he is writing about the confusion of the time period. So what do you think his writing looks like?
Very confusing.
It's very confusing because he's trying to show you how confusing it was for people to grapple with these problems. So in barn burning, we have the story that is not just of reconstruction, but it's also a father-son story. So Abner Snopes in the story is the father who is a sharecropper, who is very angry and now wants to move on into this new way. He does not want to continue this indentured servitude for his family and his son. And so he's going around burning the barns of plantation owners. Now, why would he burn their barn and not their house?
Because you just want to take away their livelihood, not necessarily their lives.
Right. Well, the barn is where the money is, right? You take away the barn, you take away their ability to work and to make all that money that supported the house. Well, meanwhile, Abner has a son, Sardi, who is 10 years old. Sardi loves his dad. Sardi looks up to his father. Sardi wants his father to stop burning barns. He does not understand why his father has to do this. He thinks that if his father and he and his brothers would just work really hard, they're going to be able to make some money and they'll be able to get their own little plot and all that. So Sardi doesn't want his dad to burn these barns, right? But Abner is going to burn the barn. So we have the situation in the climax of this story of barn burning. We have a situation where Abner is going to burn the barn. Sardi has a moral dilemma. He doesn't know whether he should support his father or whether he should support what he believes is moral and right. And so in this story, the part I'm going to read for you, Sardi has decided that he's going to play both sides of it. He's going to go and warn Major Despain that his dad is going to burn his barn. And then he's going to run back and warn his dad that Major Despain is coming, hoping to stop him, all right? Because he's made this decision. He's got to follow his values, but he doesn't want his dad hurt either. All right, so I'm going to read starting at the bottom of the page where you see it